Hello everyone, I am Noakic. If you want to know more about Russia and you understand my English, please welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss protest in Belarus. That is something unexpected and that can surprise everyone who knows Belarusian population, but it is. During 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, almost 1 month, all over Belarus went to rally. They protest against integration of Russia and Belarus. Please watch my video that I published a year ago for this topic. At that time, President of Russia and Belarus, no, mostly it was under the pressure of President Putin, who once recollected to him, he reminded to himself that, in fact, we have some agreement with Belarus that we signed like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but we are still not integrated country. And as I explained it in previous video, looks like this opportunity to create new state, Russian-Belarusian Union, it could be a way how Putin can continue to be president of this new state. And I asked myself, who will win propaganda of Russia, powerful, strong, experienced Russian propaganda, or enough weak, new, but local and meticulous Belarusian propaganda. And looks like Lukashenko won. He did a good bet and he won. For now, I mean. I was observing as during this last year, these independent Belarusian moods and this movement, they appeared. How I was surprised when one of my Belarusian friends, who was absolutely a political guy, who never interested in any news, etc., he sent me messages on Belarusian. It's a very strong gesture for Belarusian people, because Belarus, they don't speak on Belarusian, only a small category of artists, scientists, professors, exactly the people who want to underline their intelligence. They want to show that they know 2 languages, because everyone speaks Russian, and Belarusian it's like more for show off, for intelligent people, etc. And he began sending me messages on Belarusian, and he began to ask strange questions like, oh, how is the Putin, how is your ecology, how is your tax system? I want to say that it's nothing compared with the situation that happened in Ukraine a few years ago, when Ukrainians began to be really angry against the Russian aggressor. Enough often they said disgusting things exactly about population. No, in Belarus it's not like that. They absolutely divide like people and government. They understand this difference, so they say yes, Russian it's our brothers, but we don't like some decisions that are made by Russian government. We don't like some behavior. On these protests that you can see on video, mostly it was slogans like Russia it's a war, we don't want war, we don't want participation. These flags that you can see, red, white flags, it's not official flags of Belarus. These flags are mostly used in contradiction to Russia, because before 30 years ago, Belarus almost never was an independent country. It's a farm country, it's a country of farmers. It belongs to sometimes to Russia, sometimes to Lithuanian state. So this flag, it's like a link to our relations to Lithuania. What I saw on Belarusian TV, mostly they discuss that Russia changed the tax system. Like that we will not earn additionally money to our budget. So looks like it's end of friendship. So no money, no honey. Why Russian propaganda didn't work, I don't understand. Maybe they did some mistake, or maybe because it was so rude and bold that it looks really strange. For example, a few months ago, all Russian yellow newspapers, pro-Kremlin newspapers, published a very strange survey that say that 90% of Belarusian people support integration with Russia, that they want to become one country. Is it a true result or not? Because this Russian company who did this survey, they say that they just called to city phones of people. So last rally that happened in Minsk with white red flags committed 1,600 people for uncoordinated meeting. That for Belarus it's something unexpected, because as I say, that Belarusians are absolutely indifferent. They never go to any rallies. To push them to come to manifestation can only something really strong.
Мы не имеем права отдать ворогам то, что наши предки завоевали такой дорогой ценой. Мы не имеем права отдать нашу незалежность. Беларусь будет вольной и незалежной краиной. Будет занимать свой почетный посад между народами. У огульной семьи народов демократичной Европы. То за нами правда.
Despite this manifestation was uncoordinated, police didn't arrest anybody. That happened on the background of meeting between Lukashenko and Putin. They signed new 3 documents about integration of tax system, law system, and some, I don't know, education system. In fact, I absolutely don't understand how they can integrate tax system, because we live in absolutely different economical systems. I know that nobody pay any tax in Russia. People receive gray, as we call it, gray or black salary in cash. In Belarus, it's something unacceptable. Belarusian people don't want to work with black salary. So this calm behavior of Belarusian police, it surprised all observers, because actually just a few weeks ago there was an uncoordinated meeting for true elections, and police wasn't effective, arrested activists, etc. Now I want to describe you differences between Belarus and Ukraine and their relations with Russia and their integrations to Europe or to Russia. What I can see with my eyes that Belarus, that is a strange behavior, but in the same time very typical for Belarusian president, because he speaks that he pronounces that he wants integration with Russia, but in the same time Belarus makes small steps creep to Europe. But in the same time, looks like Ukraine says that no, we don't want any Russian, you are not welcome here. But in the same time, they continue to have business. They sign some agreement about gas supply in Europe. Very strange behavior. Belarus ideologically more close to Europe than Ukraine. Let's denote you some facts. A couple of years ago, Belarus opened entrance to foreigners without visa. In the beginning it was on 5 days, after that 10 days, now it's 30 days. It was contradiction with Russia, because ideologically it's absolutely opposite their behavior. In Russia you can't even get multi-visa, you have to pay, I don't know, 100, 200 euro to every entry to Russia. After that, Russian embassy was really angry, because they say how it's possible people, foreigners, Europeans will arrive to Belarus, will arrive to Minsk, and after that they will come to Russia and we have visa for them. But Belarus say no, what is stupidity, we have the border in fact, so you can't enter to any site without checking your documents. Lukashenko tried to create IT paradise in different ways. He supports these cryptocurrencies, mining, all IT, new startups, and it's opposite to Russia, because Russia, in fact, opposite of this cryptocurrency. How I feel Belarusian population? Of course, I feel them more European in attitude to LGBT, for example. Of course, every Russian gay knows that Belarus is a gay paradise. I mean, among all former republic of USSR, there nobody depress you. You can see, and in my native city there is a football team for girls, and there is some sport colleges, and there you can see thousands of lesbians who feel really free. They don't shy themselves. Attitude to boys, okay, they could receive some interest, but it's never humiliation or aggression. It's never like that. Please watch my video about difference between Russian, Belarusian and Ukrainian girls, and here I want to know that of course Belarusian girls are more feminists. All of them, a lot of them, have short haircuts. They work. They're interested in partner relations with their husbands, and it's absolutely opposite to ideology of Russia and Ukraine. Because Russian and Ukrainian girls, they are not interested in education. They say no, education is not good for girls. I would like to find a husband and do not work after wedding. Interesting steps for ecology. This September, Lukashenko signed a couple of orders about protection of ecology. They want to replace all materials for packaging for eco-friendly. They want to develop a recycling system of waste, and they began to do that already. First order was about obligatory selling of paper bags, instead plastic bags. And it's opposite to Russia, that actually now involved to waste wars. It will be topics of one of my next video. And I didn't heard any new law about that in Ukraine. And what we see about Ukraine? Yes, Ukraine, they say that we are Europe, but what we see in conclusion? They didn't want corruption, because in Belarus now, if you need to give the bribe to somebody, it's very difficult. For example, you did some crime, or you need something not very official, to find the person and to find the way to turn the law, it's really difficult. For example, I promise you 99% of girls in Russia, they bought their driving license. I promise you, those whom I know, they bought their license, or they receive this license as a gift. For Belarus, forget about that, you never can buy any driving license. Behavior of police on the streets. If you did some fraud on the road, like cross the road on red or anything, nobody will take bribes. It's opposite to Russia and Ukraine, and actually Ukraine, it's a source of corruption. As we know, their police enough corrupted, the same as in Russia too, and we have impression that the more on south, the more cruel police is. I mean road police. And any police too. Have you heard something about Ukrainian feminism? Please, I don't want to insult somebody, but we all know that Ukraine is a paradise for sex tourism. No, of course, Ukrainian girls, not all of them are prostitutes, but we know that it's just garden for all these tourists who want to take some entertainment. Partnership with their husband, no, forget about that. My salary is my salary, your salary is our salary. That is the mentality of Russian and Ukrainian too. For Belarusian, of course, Belarusian girls would like to receive some gifts from their husbands, but it's naturally for girls, no?
Conspicuous consumption.
Conspicuous consumption. That is something common between Russia and Ukraine. Please just open Instagrams of Russian and Ukraine, and you will see how they like to show off, to show how they are rich, to underline their level of consumption. Please, I don't want any problem with Ukrainians. I like all nations. I just say my opinion how I see that. And I have impression that Ukrainians, they consider that, they say, we are Europe. They say Ukraine, it's Europe. And for them, Europe, it's Paris with gilets jaunes, with yellow gilets, and it's Britain with a fight in parliament. But for Belarus, Europe, it's south of Poland, it's Lithuania with their farmers, it's Estonia with the IT privileges, with privileges for IT companies, and it's calm Slovenia with their independence that built in fact, that built only grateful to international law, because there is no any military in Belarus. They are not able to protect themselves. Next year, Belarus open in January, will open first part of nuclear station. After 30 years of the trauma that they received from Chernobyl, at last they open nuclear station, because for Belarus that doesn't have any petroleum and any mines. Of course, it's absolutely necessary source of energy. Now they try to change their energy system. They try to, based only on electricity, they try to refuse or they try to deny using of gas and petroleum. For integration, I don't know how it will be. Actually, next year, in August of next year, Lukashenko will have new challenge. It will be election. Of course, nobody doubts that he will win, and maybe he will win on this independence line, because if this demonstration for independence was not destroyed, looks like he supports this independence, and he doesn't shy to show this to Russia and to Europe. That is really opposite to his behavior 25 years ago, because he's a president during 25 years ago, and as I say, it's the last tyranny in Europe, because Belarus continues to have capital punishment. Of course, not a lot of people who are killed, but it's a fact. So I think that Lukashenko will continue to prolongate these negotiations with Putin, because looks like Belarusian people are absolutely not interested in any integration, and with time I have impression that before they say it was so strange, contradictable testimonies. They say like, we are interested in economical integration but not in political integration. After that, some people say opposite. Okay, we're interested in political integration, but not in economical integration. So people was confused. And now looks like people are not interested in both parts of these agreements. They want to, of course, they want to develop trade, because Belarus sell a lot of food products and clothes and some machinery in Russia. And of course, it's our main market. Because I'm half Belarusian. It could be really difficult to Belarus and try to European market or to any market, because quality of goods are not so cool, even prices are low too, but they are not competitive. Let's follow the news from Belarus. I hope this video was interesting for you. Thumbs up, subscribe on my Instagram and subscribe on my channel.